Oh boy, look at that. That looks new. It's cold out this morning. It's 18 degrees right now, but there's a pretty stiff wind from the north at about 15 to 20 miles an hour, which is making it feel quite a bit colder than it actually reads on the thermometer. Yesterday was 8 degrees, and then the morning before that was 4. I think winter's here. I'd gone out the other day to get my game camera just to check to see what was on it. And there was only a few pictures on it. It had only been out there for a few days, so I brought it in. I'm going to put some new batteries in it. This cold weather kind of goes through batteries pretty quick. So I'll put some new batteries in, and then we'll go and put it back out in a little bit. As you can see, we've got good snow cover now. Really just a couple inches. It's more like a snow ice cover. It's pretty crunchy stuff. You can probably hear it me walking. The deer digging through it to get to these apples underneath the apple trees that we've got around here. There's my snow depth stick. I set this up back here. Two to 2.5 inches. Nothing too impressive, but what is impressive is that's been that way for over a week now. Typically when we get snow in early to mid-November, it melts pretty quickly within a couple days after getting it. But it's been so cold over the past week or so, that hasn't gone anywhere. We had transplanted our raspberries earlier this fall. They were up near our regular garden, and we made this garden bed down here, kind of in the backwoods behind our house, but we have this big open area near where our maple syruping setup is. That's what's under that tarp right there, and then a pile of wood. So we set them up down here, so they were kind of further away, and we'll see how they do this year. We'll probably go out when I go out to set my camera up in a little bit. We'll go out to see what we can find for trees to cut. We're not going to cut them yet, but we like to kind of scope out what trees we want for firewood for maple syruping in the spring. We like to look for any kind of dead pine, and dead hardwood's good too. So we'll see what we've got out back. I know of a few trees. They're not really big, but they're better than nothing. So we've already got some to start with. So we don't need a lot. We have some left over from last year. Forgot to mention earlier, we do have some weather coming in today as well. Sadly, it isn't just snow, even though the temperature is as cold as it is. We're supposed to be getting some sleet, freezing rain, and they say that it's supposed to change over to plain rain, but I highly doubt that. The forecast high temperature for today is 33, and we typically always stay a bit cooler than that, than their forecast high, especially with storms like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if we stay icing for the majority of this event. It's actually starting right now. I didn't think it was, and I just came out and I can feel a little bit of freezing mist. Temperature's 22 degrees now. So it's definitely cold enough for freezing precip, but there's warm air aloft, probably about 5,000 feet up. Right now it's above freezing, so that is what's causing this to be more of a freezing rain sleet event and not snow. Got my game camera again, so we're gonna go find a new spot to set that up. The cool thing is now we've got this snow cover, so I can see where a lot of the deer tracks are, and I'll be able to kind of find where they've been hanging out and get the camera set up in that area. Got an area like this where there's a lot of deer tracks. But I want to go a bit further out. wish the snow was a bit quieter. I'd be able to sneak up on some stuff. I might be able to see some deer, but with it being as crunchy as it is right now, they're going to hear me from a mile away. I don't think we'll see anything. So this tree right here is the one I had it set up on before, and it was facing that way. And there's a few deer tracks that go through there, but it's too bad I didn't have it facing this way right here, because this is all scraped up in there from deer digging up acorns. This big tree right here. It's a nice big oak tree. And it dropped a bunch of acorns this year in amongst these balsam fir. So there's nice cover in here for them. But as you can see all the cracked open acorns? What they were doing is they were digging through this frozen snow layer in this area here, and they were finding all the acorns, and that's what they've been eating. So I haven't decided yet if I want to put my camera in a spot like that, or if I want to go out a bit further and find a different spot. I think I'm just gonna scope things out first and see what we can find. And if that looks like the best spot, then I'll come back and put it there. Yeah, with it being hunting season right now, I don't want to go out too far with the camera, so I can come back in and grab it. So I'm just going to leave it right in this area here on this hemlock, facing the area here that I was just showing you is kind of torn up from them digging for acorns. Should be a good spot. I did have a buck on the camera the last time I came up to get it. I couldn't tell what it was. The picture was pretty blurry. Kind of looks like he was running past the camera, so it didn't look like the 8-point that I've been seeing hanging out here. Probably more like a 4-point. I think this spot will work pretty good. I just gotta make sure it's angled properly. We're kind of looking uphill here. I think it's good the way it is. There's a lot of activity right in this area here. We're in those balsam fir trees. Let me get it turned on and set up, and we'll call it good. Okay, that should do it. There it is. Under this hemlock where the snow's gone. Facing that area right there, where it's all torn up from the deer. We'll see what happens. It's close enough where I can come back out in a week or so and check it. I don't like to come too often because you leave your scent and then the deer don't typically come around as much. But I also don't like to leave it out too long without checking it. Just because I like to see what's around recent and not, 2 weeks down the road. A little bit of snow left in the trees from the last storm. I'm just going to keep hiking out a bit further, see if we see anything else. Wow, this looks like a good trail right here. Come right through here. Looks like they're already starting to follow the same trails. They do that in the winter when the snow gets deeper. They stay on their like main highways, make their travel a bit easier. Oh boy, look at that. That looks new. It's a nice rub on this little balsam fir. Not very far from where I put my camera. That's awesome. I'm following this deer highway right now. I don't know if you can see it, but they've got a really good trail walking right through here. Okay, so I found a better spot for the camera as I was hiking around. So I'm gonna come get it and move it down a bit further. There's a lot of deer activity in this one area down below, so I'm gonna take this off the tree here and we'll go put it in its new spot. Okay, so here's the new spot. We've got it on this tree right here. We've got kind of an open old skidder trail right through here. And this is all torn up in here. Lots of deer tracks. They come out of the woods over there, the thick stuff. Probably in there for cover at night and during storms and stuff. They come out into the open here and they walk kind of right in this area and they disperse. They either go down towards that little water, that little puddle of water there, and they go out that way. Or they come towards me and then they go out that way. Either way, the main trails that I'm seeing here, they come right by where I've got the camera now, so we'll see what happens. This should be a much better spot than that last spot I was just gonna set it up in. When it comes to firewood for our maple syrup, we look for this kind of stuff. That bigger tree right in the middle of the picture there, that's a white pine. And it's dead, as you can see. That makes for great firewood. It burns pretty quick, so we like to mix some hardwood in with it. But there's a few of them in there. We'll come in here. We might do that within the next week or two, or we might save it until springtime. It's kind of tough to judge. We like to do it in the spring and just leave them standing because they stay driest like that. The only problem with that is we have no idea how much snow is going to be on the ground come February and March when we're looking to start maple syruping. And it's a lot harder to get in here when there's 2 or 3 feet of snow on the ground. So we'll see. We might come in and get those pretty soon, or we might save them until the spring. All right, that'll do it for this video. I'm gonna keep walking around out here just for a little bit longer, see if I see anything. But thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.